Hoping for a distraction from the WE contract scandal, the Prime Minister met a group of public servants in Ottawa today.
Justin Trudeau's testimony before the Commons Finance Committee was supposed to clear the air, but there are still many unanswered questions about his involvement in the nearly $1 billion deal. CTV's Ottawa Bureau Chief Joyce Napier reports.
The day after his 90-minute testimony before the House Finance Committee, the Prime Minister faced more questions about the WE charity controversy and his role in the decision to give the organization the single-source student volunteer contract.
I should have, in hindsight, pulled away and said, I don't want to be involved in this at all. I shouldn't because of family connections.
WE Charity paid the Prime Minister's mother and brother more than $500,000 in speaking fees and reimbursements in the past 4 years. Trudeau also faced questions about the role of his finance minister, Bill Morneau, who recently repaid the cost of a family trip to Africa with the WE organization.
The idea that someone on their personal vacation would choose to support a good cause or get involved in helping make the world a better place is not something that we should reject or turn away from.
A Prime Minister on the defensive as the opposition calls for him to fire Morneau and even to step down.
Who are you going to fire?
The Bloc Québécois going even further yesterday, calling Trudeau's testimony as bland as tofu.
Le Premier ministre et le ministre des Finances.
Yves-François Blanchet saying Trudeau and Morneau should be replaced, or else perhaps the opposition should bring down the minority Liberal government, he says, and trigger an election.
We don't assume that all Canadians are as consumed by this issue when they're thinking about how safe their kids are going to be in the fall, or whether or not their RSP is coming back, or whether or not their job is coming back.
Canadians may not be consumed by the WE controversy, but it has hurt the Liberals and the Prime Minister's brand. Polls showing their numbers are in free fall since the story broke several weeks ago. The bump the government enjoyed since the pandemic, gone. Joyce Napier, CTV News, Ottawa.
The federal government's main pandemic-related support program ends in a month, but today we learned CERB recipients are going to be moved to more traditional benefit programs. In September, those who have been getting CERB will be transitioned to the Federal Employment Insurance Program. A parallel benefit will be created for those who don't qualify for EI right now, such as gig or contract workers. As of July 26, there were 8.46 million CERB applicants, and the government has paid out $62.75 billion. Ottawa is also extending the emergency commercial rent assistance plan through August. The joint federal-provincial initiative lowers base rent by up to 75% for eligible small businesses impacted by COVID-19. The federal government says more than 700,000 employees have kept their jobs because of the program.
Canadians can once again apply for passports after that service was halted for several months thanks to COVID-19. Starting today, applications are being accepted via mail. Applicants are able to request in-person appointments only in cases of immediate need or if they're traveling within 30 days. That being said, Canadians are being asked to hold off on applying if they're able to do so, and officials are warning that processing times will be longer than normal. Meanwhile, a ban on most foreign travelers entering Canada is being extended. It will now remain in place until at least August 31st. The pandemic-related measure applies to visitors from countries other than the United States. Canada and the U.S. have a separate agreement allowing for essential travel between the two countries until August 21st.
The World Health Organization says the COVID-19 pandemic is a once-in-a-century health crisis and warns its effects will be felt for decades to come. The WHO reported a record increase in global cases today with more than 292,000 infections. The agency says most of the world's people remain susceptible to the virus, and many countries that believe they were past the worst are now dealing with new outbreaks.